Greetings, folks. This is Dr. Joseph Tatey here at St. Mary's University of Minnesota. Let's begin in the way that's traditional with the Christian brothers. We will remember that. St. John Baptiste de La Salle, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts forever. Amen. So, this video now is the partner to the video that you received on the 8th of January from me that was the intro to this class. In that video, which I've just reviewed myself to make sure that I'm tracking here, I alerted you right up front, this is not really a philosophy acquisition content course. Philosophy is not the point. Business and ethics are the point. So I was initiating you into some core practices of what? Of philosophy? Not really. Of actual business practice in the 21st century. You see the word written here, process. It's not your standard approach, but it is an approach to the core practices of the 21st century. So, in the 21st century, work is going to, I think, be best practiced. Data analytics is what we're talking about, but we're doing it in an analog form in the black and red notebook. I asked you for no spirals, I asked you for no deviation. Many of you didn't even bother to put your name in the, showed no sign of detail orientation, because you didn't even put your name in the front of the black and red, which shocks me when you know that on the campus there's at least 20 of these things, 40 of these things floating around. So, always have, in the time of data analytics, an analog backup for the iterative instances of inquiry that I asked you to date and time stamp. I told you about a fruity kind of metaphor, the Pomodoro. 5 to 7 times a week, 20 minutes a day. So in the terms of the core practices of the 21st century, that's data analytics, but backed up in an analog manner, and it's something that you do daily. I'm not asking, you're not cramming for a test, you're not using your phone to upload the test to Snapchat AI to do all the work for you. You are the processor in the 21st century. The core practice will be analyzing data. I told you in the front we were trying to grow our idiocy by relating new data that we are encountering in whatever format about whatever topic I'm assigning, and we relate that new data to old data, not through our feeling centers, through our logos, through our understanding of past intellectual achievements, our own past intellectual achievements. In the back, we were aiming to shrink our ignorance by writing down new words that we had encountered and both written the word and its definition. That's a healthy practice if we're trying to actually show up after a Monday morning meeting when our future supervisor uses 5 new words that we don't understand. If you don't have the courage to ask it directly, at least have the persistence and seriousness about recording it and finding out what your boss was talking about. So again, core practice, data analysis. For us, that was to grow your idiotic capacity by relating new data to old data, not through an AI or not through a feeling center, through your own mental reflection. In the back, we were shrinking our ignorance, and that's all about analyzing data. When are we doing that? We're doing that on the daily. And this related to the video that I shared with you from Daniel Pink. Carrots and sticks do not actually achieve the outcomes that they promise. We have to come to some internal motivation. I had you look at a syllabus that was a pile of garbage. You fed it to 2 different AIs and then talked to a partner about it. There was no external motivation registered there. This class was the candle problem. Many of you figured that out. Some of you are just figuring it out now. So, core practice, growing idiocy, shrinking ignorance, doing data analytics from an internal source of motivation on the daily, not cramming for a test, just picking up new data as often as you can, fact-checking it, keeping an analog record. The G folder is also a very 21st century. If we're working in an analog manner, it would be a wise thing to update and to digitally back up our work. So that shows proof of hygiene and proof of detail orientation. Many of you, it took a long time to get you to name the folder to the convention that I asked for on the first day. On your job, you're going to get fired. That's a new development in August of 2025. I read an article from a CEO who knew that many of you know that there's a workforce shortage and knew that no matter how shitty you perform at the job, they can't really get rid of you. AI has replaced you. If you're not going to pay attention to details, you are now expendable. That's I've lost the article, but I remember it as a watershed because there was a kind of arrogance and confidence that we had, even in the university, of not paying attention to you, paying attention to details. So again, core practice is going to be growing your idiocy, shrinking your ignorance, showing internal sources of motivation because there's no syllabus on your first job, showing some hygiene, showing proof of detail orientation, doing a digital backup of your analog work, and then you can imagine that's all kind of solitary stuff that I've described so far. Especially this, it's an internal source of motivation. Nobody knows what you don't know, but you'd know what you don't know. Be honest about it and get to work on it. Relate the data not through externalities, but through an internal source. So that's all the internal proportion. Now we're moving into the expectation of partners in our work. So we've done our internal preparation, and now we're ready for a partner. It will still happen that we'll be working with partners. It's just that we are not likely to be in the room with them as often as it has been during the boom, let's say it that way. But we can anticipate that there's going to be virtual partnering and that you need to show up with a virtual backdrop ready to perform. Not to complain about the teacher or how ignorant he is or how stupid this assignment is. That's all wasted time. We're done with that. You show up as a professional in a professional manner, especially in the virtual format. Okay. So that's the think, pair, share. Again, that's just matching 21st century reality. Several of you have shared in the office that you've even been interviewed by an AI through a Zoom portal or something like it. That's on the order for you. You're not likely going to have an in-person interview for your first round. Okay. LinkedIn is also one of these horrific things. I can complain about it as a Gen X, maybe louder than you. You find it cringe. I don't care anymore. We're done talking about that part. LinkedIn is a networking device, but if you think of it as reactive, I just show up when I want an internship or a job, or I just show up to brag about myself, you're really not using the tool in its best form, in its best format, why it exists. So I want a proactive posture in the 21st century landscape. You're going to market yourself. I find it shocking that marketing majors are not willing to use LinkedIn. If you won't market yourself and you're a marketing major, and me, Gen X, and boomers older than me know how to use LinkedIn and market ourselves there, and we find it even more cringe than you, we're not hiring you to do marketing for anyone. So market yourself now, whether you're a marketing major or not. You're going to need to be proactive, and there is an amazing thing that happens, and I'm not going to belabor it here, but it's called the law of attraction. That if you get on that LinkedIn and actually start posting yourself as someone who's experiencing growth in the area that you pretend to be interested in with your major, that will be a very attractive feature indeed. Don't show yourself, oh, I got an internship, I'm so great. I was forced to say this because of a business ethics class and a dumbass requirement, and he won't even tell me how many points it's worth. Skip that attitude, skip that posture. In LinkedIn, share things that show you as a learner in the area of finance, you a learner in the area of business intelligence. Whatever you claim to be doing, show us you as a processor of that area of interest and concern. And instead of seeking an internship or a job, and I can bore you with examples, the internship and the job will find you. Okay, it's good enough. That's great. That's a quick review of the video that I turned out on the 8th of January 26. It is now the 2nd of April 26. I hereby declare this class done. So we're entering a reflection phase. No more work. You did what you did, you didn't do what you didn't do. It's done. It's over. All the worry about this is done. From the perspective of completing any more black and reds, completing any more think, pair, shares, completing any more organizing of your G folder, or of posting on LinkedIn. Done. Now we enter a hardcore reflection phase. So in the last new page, you find your black and red, you go to the last page where you've been doing work, and now you enter the date. It doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, it should be this weekend or early next week. I'm not worried about exact dates here, but let's get this done soon after break. I'm going to put a hard line by next Wednesday. This should be completed. So that's the 9th. So our reflection page is on the last new page of the black and red. You're going to do an inventory of the product that you've produced. This is your product. I announced the process on the 8th of January. I refuse to give external points for it. I refuse to give a very meaningful, detailed, canvas-based, um, external reward system. You either did or you didn't show up. You either did or you didn't make a product. Now you reflect on that product and that process. And so you will have, number one, how many instances of iterative inquiry is your grand total? How many new words in the back? So that's all about the black and red. Number one is about the front of the black and red. Number two is about the back of the black and red. How many? How many? Number three, how many think pair shares did you complete? Don't go trying to complete them now, it's done. How many are there? How many are not there? Number four, LinkedIn posts. How many did you do? The class ended on April 2nd. Don't go trying to cram a bunch of crap into this process now. It's over. The process is over. Enter a posture of reflection. I have the word honest for you. This is not for me. This is for you. You're getting a test here in real time of your internal motivation. How willing were you to work when the manager was refusing to tell you how many points it was worth or how to get the LMS points? I wasn't giving that. I was testing your internal motivation. How many in the front? How many in the back? How many think pair shares did you complete? How many LinkedIn posts did you complete? How many AI platforms did you use? So I'm going to be looking, when I take up the black and reds, I'm going to be looking for a ratio there. You came in with a certain number of AIs that you were familiar with or practiced in, and then you're going to leave with a different number. If the ratio is 1, you started with 1 and you got 2, great. You got 100% development there, or 50%, however you want to do that. Take one quick look at your G folder. Pretend that you're not yourself. I know that's hard, but that a manager might be checking in to look at your work. Is it files all over the place or not? Is it organized or is it a shit show? Up to you. Be honest. This is for you. This is not for me anymore. This is all about you. Now, that's complete. I want to just review what I just said, just so there's no lack of clarity. On the 8th of January, I told you this is not really about philosophy, but 21st century core practices. Growing your idiocy by managing data in marrying new data to old data as a human can do, not as an AI would do. Only you know how ignorant you are, so you're going to shrink your ignorance. You're going to have an internal sense of motivation. 20 minutes a day is a great habit of inquiry. The G folder has a digital backup of your analog work, and this is all internal. You're going to be expecting to meet partners, and you're going to be expecting to meet those partners in the virtual sphere. You're also going to market yourself in the 21st century realities. You're going to be working for the law of attraction, and you're going to be proactive about that. Now we're entering a posture of reflection on the product, and then this is going to give way to what I think is one of the neatest parts of this class. It's 2 things I have to say, and then you'll be out of this video. Forgive the length. First thing is the only teaching I will do on ethics, and it's right now. Tatey's definition of ethics is very simple. Humans, as humans, you will get a reputation, and you will get that reputation. That reputation is our way of seeking praise and avoiding blame if we can. Reputation, interestingly, is always given by others. It's not given by ourselves. We might have an assessment of ourselves, but that's not called the reputation. That's called something else. That's called self-regard. So humans will always develop a reputation seeking to be praised and seeking to avoid blame. But that reputation is given by others, and it's based on, and I put words small there, but I put deeds in large. So if I just review this here, your grade in this class is based on your deeds. Your engagement of the process that resulted in a product that has a certain quantitative blade to it. You did what you did, or you didn't do what you didn't do, and that's shown up in the product called the black and red, the think pair shares, the LinkedIn posts, the expansion or non-expansion of your AI platforms, and the orderliness or the disorderliness of your digital backup. Fine. So, Tatey will have to give you a grade, and in a certain sense that's praising you or blaming you for your performance in light of the other students in the class. Great. One of the corollaries, one of the important things I want you to hear here is that deeds are going to speak louder than words in your life going forward. Your deeds result in your reputation or your name or your identity with others. I want to argue, and I think this is going to inform the very last assessment piece we have for this class, which is going to be called a multimedia presentation. Some of you have met me and heard about this already. Some are learning it for the first time now. We've got 25, 26 days before this is due, so there's plenty of time. No need to freak out here. Katie's definition of ethics is that humans will get a reputation, they will be praised or they will be blamed mostly on their deeds by others. One of the greatest ways to have a good reputation, oddly enough, is to be someone who knows how to praise others and who avoids the temptation to constantly be complaining, to be blaming, and to be naming other people as in a negative light. So, my definition is humans are seeking a reputation. They are seeking to be praised. And interestingly enough, the human who gets good at praising others and avoiding blaming, avoiding bitching, avoiding complaining, is going to, ironically enough, be a person with a good reputation. And so, in that spirit of my definition of ethics, and if you have to rewind this, that's fine. I'm talking fast because I don't want this to last. It's going to come right in at 20 minutes if I do this right. Sorry it's so long. The whole thing was there on January 8th. The whole thing will be here on 2nd of April. You might have to rewind, you might have to consider this. There's my definition. The final exercise then. You've done your reflection on the process and the product related to your process. Great. After your honest, comprehensive reflection completes itself, you're going to start working toward what I call the MMP. So I love my acronyms: BNR, TPS, LI, AI, G, and now we're into the MMP. Elegant. You're going to get a student account if you don't already have one. If you've used Prezi, great for you. If you haven't used Prezi, that's also fine for you. It's a Google Slides or a PowerPoint presentation with a little bit of steroids to it. And the steroids that it's added as in last fall was an AI dimension. So you're going to reflect on all of the work you've done in this class. You're going to try to reflect in light of the best thing you learned. It might be that you were impressed with something that somebody else said on a Think, Pair, Share. Great. You're going to organize your final presentation, which is about 7 to 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes and no less than 7. That's my rules that I'm laying down for the multimedia presentation. 7 to 10 minutes. Not a long dissertation. You're going to have done your reflection, and you're going to think, what did I actually learn in this class? It doesn't have to be praising someone else in the Think, Pair, Share. You might not have had that moment. Don't manufacture meaning. Don't fake it. You're going to focus on the thing that you would want to communicate. Not how dumb the professor is, not how stupid it was that you had to put a syllabus into an AI and talk to another person about that, not how you didn't know how many points anything was worth. What you're going to focus on is the positive. What's the positive message that you can give to the audience? And I do this because I think this is also part of the 21st century work practice. You're going to get comfortable with marketing yourself, and you're even going to have to, at times, make multimedia presentations. So here we go. You're going to use the Prezi. You're going to develop a short script. And the script follows a very simple, what I call the sober Uber rule. I don't get in an Uber if I see that the person is in an altered state. I'll get in the Uber if they can say to me, this Uber is going to do 3 things. It's going to talk about 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to drop you off at the airport, and I'm going to remind you that we stopped at the Cub Foods, we stopped at the Burlington Coat Factory, and you said you were hungry, so we stopped at Zupa. There we go. I'm going to get in that Uber because I want to go to Cub, I want to go to Burlington, and I want to go to Zupa. This is just me navigating West St. Paul on my way to the airport. You're going to get in there and you're going to say, I reflected on my Think, Pair, Share with Jimmy. Jimmy said something interesting, caused me to look up a word that I didn't know, and that gave me the insight back to the Godfather. So in this short presentation, I'm going to talk about Jimmy's contribution, what I learned about this key term that he brought up that I didn't grasp, and how I found a relationship to the Godfather. And let's go. First, let's talk about Jimmy's contribution. Second, here's the research I did. Here's how I connected new data to old data that I had, and then I related that to the Godfather. Thank you. In my presentation, as I told you, I learned something from Jimmy, I related it to the Godfather, and then I learned a new terminology. Boom. Okay, great. You've got a script. You've done your reflection. You've opened Prezi. You've written a script. And when you open Prezi with your script, it's going to ask you, do you want me to generate that presentation for you? And you're going to say yes. You've already done the work. You wrote the script. Now it's going to produce a beautiful presentation that has two parts, images and data. And that is wonderful. So you take your script in the sober Uber format. It's the 5-paragraph thing you had to do in high school. Here's an intro. I'm going to try to say 3 things. You say the first thing, you say the second thing, you say the third thing. And in the conclusion, I hope you understand that my core message was 1, 2, 3. Thank you for listening to my Prezi. I'm out. So you're going to take that script, dump it in. It's going to ask you, do you want me to generate the presentation for you? You're going to say, yeah, I do. But because we've read H. James Wilson and Paul Doherty's article, we know that AI can go wildly wrong and hallucinate like a crazy person. So you're going to then take careful stock of the images it has provided and the data it has provided. You're going to exercise your human judgment on the AI assist. Are these images serving my purpose or are they harming it? Is it enhancing my message or detracting? Is the data even valid? I've been doing this exercise for a few years now, and the AI function since last fall, it will provide some good data in cases where you didn't think about it, and it can augment your argument. There's times that it hallucinates is the term we like to use. Sometimes it just gets on its own, takes its own mind and goes a direction you are not trying to take it. This is a critical feature for you. This is the core practice in the 21st century environment. You are going to be a collaborator with AI, doing more than just pointing at your test in getting the answers from Snapchat AI. The lowest form, the stupidest form of use of AI. If you're doing that currently, I don't know why you're in college. Drop out. Doesn't matter. Exercise human judgment on the product. Make a second version, 2.0, that shows your editorial hand. And then I'd say let it rest for a day or two. Come back at it, exercise more human judgment, and then you're going to make the final version. I told several people in person, but I'm going to tell you all now. You can include your face, or you can leave your face out. So I'm going to put in here face, no face. And we're using the Prezi movie function. And when you use the Prezi movie, you're going to execute your script. It's going to do the slides either adjacent to you or without your face at all. You can do a split screen. You'll see it, you'll navigate. I'll also send another short demonstrative description of this. Feel free to hit me up. I'm happy to walk you through a little bit of this, although I think this should suffice. Here's what I've asked today. I reviewed what the January 8th video outlined. That was called our process. It's all serving 21st century core practices. Now I'm asking you to enter into a quantitative reflection. How many instances did you achieve? How many new words? How many think pair shares did you complete? How many LinkedIns? How many AI platforms did you use? And you're going to be able to add one because you're going to use Prezi AI now. So that's good. And is your G folder navigable? Review my definition of ethics. It's good to praise. So this whole last exercise is one way of praising your own process and praising those who brought you insights, whether it's Aristotle, Godfather, Dan Pink, H. James Wilson, and Paul Doherty. Anything you read on Kant, anything you read on Mill, maybe a partner that you had in a think, pair, share. Then you're going to produce a small, very 21st century thing. It's called a multimedia presentation. You're going to learn a new app, or you're going to use an app that you've used before in a new way. You're going to show a process that this is all, by the way, still documented in your black and red. These next 25 days are not a collapse. You're still going to keep track of your work. You're going to give me instances of iterative inquiry. Maybe you're putting in 10 or 15 minutes, 20 minutes of every day on this, and that's great. Show that your human judgment is being brought to bear on AI imagery and data in relation to the script, the positive thing you want to say about this class. You're going to record it, just like I've recorded this video here. I've used a whiteboard. I'm asking you to use a 21st century tool called Prezi. You're going to either show your face or not show your face when you make your movie. And your movie will last 7 to 10 minutes, not 6 minutes and 59 seconds, not 10 minutes and 1 second. Between the 7 and 10 minute mark, and you're going to land 3 points concretely and coherently. I really appreciate the work that I've seen. I love the in-person interviews in my office. I'm grateful for so many wonderful insights that I've seen in the Black and Red, in the Think Pair shares, in the LinkedIn posting, discussions about AI in my office. I've had some amazing talks with you people. I've seen a lot of progress in managing your G folder. I really hope that you have gotten something out of this class. I look forward to seeing these final projects, and the very end of this class then will require you to look at 2 other people's Prezis. So you do have an audience, and it's your classmates. So we've got like 20 days to get this completed. In that last 5 to 6 days that we have, you'll be looking at a couple of other people's and checking out. Appreciate your work this semester, folks. Good luck. Happy Easter.